Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we may have finally found something that's going to allow us to get the 370Z rims onto the car legally. This is the final test. If this works, we know our solution. We go out and buy the parts and it's done. So just a bit, kind of an update. So I tried to use your kind of traditional bolt-on space, all right, where you got, you put that on the hub and then slide the Nissan rim on here. But the issue was, which I've covered in previous videos, once you put the Nissan 370 adapter over that, you sort of, and then the rims like actual metal takes up a certain number of threads. There was only like that much thread left, so not safe to bolt a lug nut onto. So these spaces wouldn't work, so we had to basically abandon that idea. So basically what I've come up with, and what I'm quite sure will work, is this is an aftermarket replacement for a standard Falcon stud that's actually got more threads. It's longer, as you can see here. So basically what we're going to, and this 25mm spacer actually makes the wheels overhang the guards slightly. If you see in the previous videos, it does kind of look illegal. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and bought this, which is a 15mm slip-on spacer. You see that? It's a 15mm slip-on spacer. And basically the idea is longer wheel stud, slip-on spacer, 370 adapter, and standard concave wheel nut into the adapter. And basically, I'll let you see that. See the way it's got that concave face? So that'll mate to a standard 60-degree concave wheel nut. So all of those together and the rim should give us enough. I'll show you a rough video of what it should look like before we actually put the stud in and do a proper test. So hold up. Okay, so here's me holding the 370 rim. We've got the 15mm slip-on spacer pressed into the back. We've got the stud pressed in as well. Now basically what I'll show you is, that's how much thread is poking through. Now I've pushed that spacer right up against there, right up against the metal. That's how much thread is poking through, which is more than enough to get a lug nut onto. There's the adapter sitting in the well there. Now I understand that when you put this when you put this wheel stud into the hub, you're going to lose a little bit because of the knurl. So if I just put this here for a sec, show you here. So obviously some part of this stud is going to sit into the actual hub of the wheel. So if we just pull this back a little bit, that's probably how much is going to sit into the actual housing, which means that should be a reasonably accurate measure for what you've got here. So that's how much thread you've got, whatever that is, 15 threads or so to put a wheel nut onto. So that's the theory behind it. Now we've already taken one stud out because I cross-threaded it on the car, which I'll show you now. So we've already taken, as you can see, there's only 4 there because we already knocked one out. So yeah, we're gonna put the long wheel stud in, and then spacer, adapter, put it all together and see how it sits. So keep you posted. Okay, I'll just show you the process. So taking the wheel off, obviously, this is the stud we knocked out before. We literally just knocked it out with a hammer because it was cross-threaded, so it didn't matter. So basically, there's two 15mm. One is there, which I've already loosened. Got to be careful because you got the ABS lines or whatever it is, the brake lines and the sensor lines and all that there. It's got a bracket, so just sort of remember how it went. But that's where the location of the first bolt is, 15mm. Okay, and the second 15mm caliper bolt is located here, which is, if you follow those lines there, there's the lines there. Just peek around there. It's 15mm, there it is. that has to come out as well. Okay guys, here we are back at the car. So the longer stud's been put through. You can see the 15mm spacers on, rims on. So there's the longer stud. So obviously ignore all the small ones because they would be getting replaced with long ones if you were to do this job properly. But that's how much thread is exposed on that thing. But then you still got to shove the adapter in. So if I shove the adapter through, that's now what you're left with, which is that much thread. So what that is an indication is if I take this, these are actually used to fasten the bolt-on spacers down to these original things. So it's not exactly a wheel nut, but you can use it as an indication. If I put that on there, I'll just fasten it down and come back to you guys and show you how it sits. Okay guys, so that's how it basically sits on that proxy sort of wheel nut, basically flat. So I'll pull that out and show you what that's relative to a normal wheel nut to give you guys a bit of understanding. Okay guys, so I just pulled I just showed you how the proxy wheel nut sort of sits, like while done up fully and in the right position and everything. So this is sort of a comparison. So that's a normal 1/2 inch wheel nut, and that's what I was using as the proxy. So if you compare them compare these side by side, I mean, if I can get a good angle on it. Yeah, so basically, that's how much of the wheel nut is fastened. So I would say, yeah, that's a question as to whether or not that's safe. Like, that's probably more of a question for either like someone who knows or a shop. So sort of a crossroads. Maybe I'll buy another 4-wheel studs, put it all together on at least one side of the car, then take it to a wheel and tire shop and ask them if it's safe or not. But my initial gut reaction is probably not. And yeah, I don't know how much thinner of a spacer I could go, which would even help. Like, that's already 15mm, maybe a 10 or a 5, but don't know if they make those slip-ons with also a center bore for the rim to sit on. Might have to look into that. But yeah, this is getting close to exhausting the options, unfortunately. So yeah, like and sub for my suffering, and we'll see if we can work anything else out or if it's time to give up on the rims. Thanks guys, like and subscribe.